Good morning, everyone. So, as usual, I'm doing a video in the morning and I'm running a little late. The girls are still sleeping, so yay for that. Hopefully they continue to sleep until I'm finished plating. So breakfast is pretty much cooked, but everyone wanted to know, not everyone, but a lot of people wanted to know how I wrap the burritos. So this morning we're gonna do breakfast burritos, and I'm going to attempt to wear the camera on my head so that you can see what my hands are doing. So I've already cooked the eggs and the sausages. We're doing sausage, egg, and cheese burritos. So yeah, let's get to plating. All right, so hopefully you're seeing everything without seeing down my shirt. I've tried to adjust the camera. Hopefully it doesn't slip. So I have a little bit of just the sharp cheddar cheese. We have our sausage, we have our eggs, and these are the tiny, so these ones are the 0 carbs. It doesn't matter for the girls if I get 0 carbs or full carbs. But you can also use, they do have like street taco tortillas, so they're super tiny. I mean, they're like the size of my hand. So I'm gonna do 2 for each child. I'm gonna pull out 4. They are still sleeping, so maybe they had a little bit of a rough night. Mommy definitely did not want to wake up this morning. I definitely had a little bit of a rough night. So 2 of these are a little bit bigger, so I'm gonna put a small one and a big one with each of them. So first things, we want to kind of warm up. So I have this, put it back up on medium. I had it on low while I was doing all the talking. I didn't want the pan to get too hot. I also have my leftover sausage that I might use for my burrito. Even though I think there's let me turn the light on here. There we go, that's a lot better. You can see all the splatter from cooking. So you just want to like warm them up. So like a few seconds for each of them. Because you don't want them to get too crispy. You still want to be able to fold them for the burritos, but you want them to be a little bit more pliable. Sorry if I'm making people dizzy by like moving my head too quickly. I'm still getting used to wearing the camera on my head. Yeah, so last night, Beano, our dog, had an episode. So we were told that it's similar to, it's a doggy dementia. So he sometimes wakes up and forgets where he is, or he doesn't recognize his surroundings, and he walks into walls, and so he went off on an adventure in the backyard because I thought he had to go to the bathroom, and it wasn't until later that I realized he was having an episode. So mommy was up all night chasing after the dog in our backyard. So you want to put a little bit, you don't want to over stuff them because then they're harder to wrap. So we're just going to put a little bit of cheese down. My cheese doesn't seem to want to stand. Let's see. We'll probably cut a finger. We'll do a longer finger. Cut a finger in half. So whatever eggs don't fit in these, I will serve them after the video. And if they don't eat them, I will eat them. Somebody will eat them. We'll eat them for lunch as a leftover. So just like a little bit of sausage. It all just fell off. You can do your sausage first. I might do that on the next one. So you want to kind of fold the sides up just a little bit. You don't want them completely covering, but like, I guess about 3/4 of the way. And then you want to take, while holding them down, you want to take this and just kind of push everything back in and just kind of roll it. It's a little easier when they're bigger. These tiny ones are a little more difficult. So while still holding the sides, you just want to roll it all the way completely. And there's your little burrito. Now we're going to stick this seam side down back on the pan. Don't burn your fingers. And I'm gonna hold this because I think it's popping open. I might have put a little too much sausage in there. Let's try to push that back together. I should have held it a little longer, but I wanted to check to see if it was popping open. Okay, so it's not popping open. So I'll just hold it, just leave it for a little bit, and then we're gonna flip it to the other side. Now you can use a pair of tongs if your hands are sensitive to the heat, because they do get pretty hot. I'm just going to flip it to the other side again for just a little bit. All right, and there's one burrito. So I'll show you again. Take a little bit of cheese. I always almost put too much cheese every time. We'll do our sausage first this time. We'll see how that ends up going. So now I do keep the eggs separate so that I know who's getting a full egg and who's not. So, you know, this will be, you know, Gwen's egg, and this will be Anna's egg. All right, so now this is the shorter side, it seems to me. So I'm just going to fold that up like that. While still holding the sides, we're going to push this over. Make sure all of our filling is in there. Sometimes I like use my pinkies, trying to hold the sides in and just roll it over. Our nice little burrito. We take it over back to the stove. Yeah, so like I was saying with Bino, he completely forgets where he is. You know, he'll walk into a wall. He doesn't even know. He never acts violently, which is really good. And the episodes only seem to really happen at nighttime. So I'm not sure what the reasoning for that is. He did have epilepsy as a puppy. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it either. But yeah, it wakes me up in the middle of the night, and sometimes he will go to the bathroom while he's having an episode, which is why I do like to get him outside. I usually put him on a leash if I know he's having an episode, but I didn't realize it until we were outside. And he was just like frantically running around kind of in circles. And it was cold and I didn't have a jacket on. It's just in what I'm wearing now. So frantically, because I mean, thankfully he was going towards the woods. I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse, but he was going towards the woods, which is better than the road. The road we live on is a 50-mile-an-hour road. People drive 80 on it, especially at night, which is kind of scary. But the woods back there, we do have coyotes, so that's also scary. Just tuck it in that side a little bit. It popped out on me. So, yeah, I didn't want him going too deep into the woods, you know, because if he gets lost in there and I can't find him, we're both in trouble. But thankfully I did get him into the house. But sometimes his episodes last for, you know, 10 minutes. Sometimes they go on for an hour. The one last night was on the longer side, so I was running around outside in the backyard for probably about an hour, maybe a little longer. At 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm sure the girls are going to love these. Now, you can add bacon to it. You can add tomatoes to it. With anything like tomatoes, because it's a little bit wetter, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to wrap the burrito, only because they get wet, and when they get wet, they get really difficult to kind of fold and keep together. They start falling apart. I ran out of tomatoes. Anastasia loves tomatoes and ate them all. So we're probably going to go food shopping today after breakfast. This was another smaller one, so it's a little bit tougher to roll. And like I said, you don't have to hold them, but the smaller ones, just because I'm trying to stuff as much in there as I can, they come sometimes like pop apart. And you don't need it too long. Obviously, you can see it's getting more and more well done with less time because, you know, there's nothing in the pan. They're getting really warm. But they stay together once you heat them up. So I think I am going to throw a few blueberries on here. But there's our little burritos. We can cut them in half. I think I'm going to leave them whole, though, and see what they do. They are pretty tiny. I mean, that's the size of 2 of my fingers wide and 1 finger long. And I don't have very giant hands. So, thanks for joining me for making breakfast burritos. And, yeah, in the description below will be the link of them eating these burritos. I may cut the longer one in half. Just so it's easier for them. But for me, I mean, I just leave them like that. So I think, you know what, I am going to leave them both full. So, yeah, check out the description below for the video of them eating their burritos. And we'll see you later. Bye.